What is up, everybody? Everyday Angler here. Today we're here with Ken from Great Meadows Kayak and Canoe. And I know you guys saw that video where I featured his net after I caught that rock bass. I messaged him and I was like, it'd be really cool if we did a video on your shop. So here we are, and we're just gonna do a little walkthrough of the shop and do a little interview with Ken here and find out how he got started doing this and feature some of his nets. So I guess my first question would be, how did you get started doing this?
Well, I worked for a corporation in New Jersey called Bell Laboratories, and they were at the point in their life that they were downsizing, so I took an opportunity to do some classes with them. They were laying off 25,000 people, so the union stepped in and said, how about offering a re-education program? Well, I filled out an application and they denied it, and my daughter Carrie, who's good with a pen, redid my application and they accepted it. So I had gone to Maine for 8 years on and off, using my own time, but they paid for my books and my classes, and I had a wonderful time building all varieties of boats, from lapstrake to canoes to kayaks, and I seem to have settled in on ultralight boats of the Inuit style. A lot of these boats are lashed together, and it's been told that it's almost like paddling living matter, so I'm having fun with it.
Yeah. Awesome, man. We will get to see some of his boats. There's actually one right behind me that's in the process of getting done. But first we're going to talk about his nets. Alright, so Ken is going to show us some of his nets. He's got plenty of them right here, as you can see. But there's a few that have a pretty cool story that he's going to tell us about them.
Basically, these variety of nets here are traditional styles in that I'm using a nylon mesh that is used, and this is a 14-inch rainbow, and it just goes to give you a size of what you might be catching with a net that size. That's also used with other varieties of nets that I use, but panning down, this is my version of a Toccoa style net that basically Asians, Japanese have used in other countries, and they're being introduced to the United States right now. Toccoa is a different variety of fishing, in that it's just about presentation of the fly. There's no reel used. And
that's a bamboo?
That's the bamboo, yeah.
Here, give me a close-up of it.
Okay, sure.
So that is a Toccoa net.
Toccoa net.
That's really cool.
It has a flat bottom net to it as well.
And it's pretty deep.
And then this one basically is the same. It's just that the presentation is just a little bit different.
Yeah.
This one here could be used for a lefty or a righty, however one desires.
I almost like that one because it's like ergonomic, you know, the way it's curved like that.
Agreed, thank you.
Yeah.
And then these varieties here, when I was in Chattanooga hardwoods, I had come across some of this bird's eye maple, and it really interested me because basically it was quite old at the time, and it really appealed to me. And I found out that, in looking further into it, this bird's eye was the flooring of the office building of Chris Craft boats that were mahogany boats built back in the 60s in Chattanooga.
So that net is 100% Chattanooga, at least East Tennessee, North Chattanooga made.
Chattanoogan bird's eye.
There you go.
And this one here basically is another variety of my nets. This is a brookie that fits comfortably in this size net. Basically, the brookie nets are used for a lot of gentlemen that use it for mountain carry if they're going up into the woods or just out there. On the opposite, this is eucalyptus on this side here, and
That's
This
really
is
pretty.
what they call Banksia nut from Australia, as well as the eucalyptus.
So that
Yeah.
wood is like naturally pitted like that.
It's actually a large nut. That's the
Oh,
size of a small football,
wow.
and it does have a real nice grain to it.
That's a beautiful.
You know? And then again, we have the Chattanooga bird's eye here, and these nets here. It seems like the trend is going in fly fishing to a longer reach, and so I came up with a few varieties that I thought might be a good carry. And this bag here, these nets, I don't really go by any pretty names. These are basically a pear-shaped net, and this is the smaller variety of the larger carry. This one here has a walnut grip to it as well. I like to basically use walnut and my woods for their beauty. This type of wood here basically is the crotch from a tree, and I like to bring that forward because I think it's really special stuff. And then these two pieces of wood here are from my wife's great-grandfather. He was, Will Sanstead was his name, and he was from Elmira, New York. And at the time, in 1931, Remington was producing pump shotguns, and they had sent to England to have their English crotch walnut sent to this country so they could use it in their forward pump on their shotgun. Remington went down to the docks with their ruler and decided that the walnut that was sent was an inch too short. So Will Sanstead and his son, John, they belonged to the NRA at the time, and they were offered this walnut, and they walked away with milk crates full of this walnut, and it was willed to me, which I think is pretty nice stuff. So
Have you used it on any net yet?
I have. I try to be very sparing about what
Yeah.
I use because there is a minimum amount of it
Yeah.
left. And these varieties here, basically, I call them my standard stream carry.
Now this is like the one that I got from him.
Okay.
I think mine was a little bigger pair than that one.
A larger hoop.
Yeah.
hmm And then again, I like to use the figured maple and such. And there is a big calling for catch and release style nets. I believe in that, but I also believe in the taste of a nice fish. I like to accent some of the woods. This is a bird's eye handle right here. This is not from Chattanooga. This is from Pennsylvania. Usually when I'm visiting my family up north, I stop by in some of my favorite lumber mills and try to pick up what I can. This one here basically is a cherry. I like the accent of the sapwood as well as the heartwood on there. This is quite unique in that it does resemble a little fiddleback in there. So, and this basically here is I've had requests on this net, and that it seems like a lot of the fishermen are liking a larger hoop, but with a smaller grip. And this again is fiddleback maple here. It does have a nice gloss to it, and I've been getting requests on these. So
Awesome.
I will be producing them in the future. Okay, these nets here basically are used for a longer reach. The handles are, on this particular one, is a bird's eye maple again, and It has a medium-sized hoop on it as compared to the standard stream carry. And basically this one here is offered with a some of the Remington walnut as well.
Oh, really?
And these are short pieces that I had, and I figured I'd add them on to bring out the beauty of the net. This one here, it tends to be a little bit heavy, but then again, maple is a hardwood, but it's great for fishing off of a dock, a boat, a pontoon boat, or the edge of the shore.
Awesome. Alright, so let's talk about the boats a little bit, or the canoes. This is what you got in front of you right now is kind of like the skeleton or the structure of one.
Yeah, this is the superstructure of the boat here. I like to use, boat building is kind of specific on the materials used. Over the years, it's an evolution. I mean, canoe building is, basically we took a lot of the designs from the English and American Indian. They used birch bark. Then frames started to be built by the English, and around 1890s or so, Chestnut and a lot of corporations up in Maine have Old Town started building canoes that basically were cedar covered with planking on the ribs, and they would cover them with a canvas cover. What I've done here is tried to build some ultralights, and I've been building them for a few years now, and this frame in itself weighs only 12 pounds.
Yeah.
The structure starts to build as you keep adding wood to it naturally, and it gives it a lot stronger effect. The lashing that's used here basically is what the Inuits would have used up in Greenland, and it's a synthetic sinew which is extremely strong. I could lift a 60-pound weight with one strand of this stuff right here. And the fabric that I use on this boat is called Ballistic Nylon. They use it in the flak vests for shrapnel protection. Basically, this particular piece on the frame here has been, I use it in craft fairs, and I let the customer generally take this wrench and just hit it as hard as they can. It's just remarkable stuff.
Hold it up so I could zoom in on it. Yep. Now it's been hit a lot of times.
Been hit over 1,200 times, I figure 12 to 1,400 times. It's just remarkable stuff. And even though some of the urethane is starting to peel a wee bit, it's only because it's been hit in the same place for a good amount of time. The fabric, when this boat is complete, and the fabric stretched on here, I'll be putting walnut gunnels on here as well, the outwales, and this should weigh about 22 pounds when it's complete. It's a good carry into your favorite pond or wherever you might.
The camera doesn't do it justice, because when I first came in here and I lifted it like with one finger, it was it really does only weigh like 12 pounds, and this is like a 9-foot, 10-foot?
No, it's a 12-footer.
12-foot.
Yeah.
Is this going to be like a one-man boat, or?
Yes, it will be. There'll be a seat basically off center, and it'd be a good paddle for either kneeling or sitting. Most avid canoers prefer to kneel. This way you can view everything that's around you as you're paddling as well. This could be used with a single paddle or a double-ended paddle, like a kayaking paddle.
And I'm guessing these things are pretty streamlined
Pretty much.
cut through the water.
And light as well. I've actually had to put, excuse me, a keel on some of them to keep them on track. They're basically like a leaf on the water, so
Yeah.
they have a tendency to wander a little bit, and the keel keeps it on track.
And there's actually a finished one on top of us. And he's got some downstairs too that are a little deeper in the process that we're going to take a look at here in a little bit.
This is a basically the profile of a Chestnut Canoe, and all of the ribs are traditional in their the way they're set in the boat. And if I was to use this as a traditional boat with planking, I could add a canvas cover to it. But my object was to keep the weight down as well. That boat is a little over 16.5 feet, and she weighs roughly 50 pounds. And it's a 2-passenger boat.
Yeah.
There is a keel on that one to keep it on track. But over here we have a couple boats. This particular canoe here is 17.5 foot, and that is an Atkinson Traveler.
Maybe on the other side
And
of it.
that boat weighs a little over 80 pounds.
Yeah.
But it's a sweet boat in the water. It's got a reasonable sized beam to it. I believe the beam is like 39 inches. And the overall length, then again, is 17.5 feet.
Is the beam like the widest part of the boat?
Yes, the
Okay.
width of the boat. And then this other structure that you see underneath it is is my mold for building traditional 16-foot canoes.
Now, is that one built like this one, it looks like?
Well, the metal banding that you see on there is where the steam vent ribs are placed.
Oh, okay.
And then over that, such as the boat above you, you'll see the planking. And when the planking goes on, the tacks go through the planking and the rib. And when it hits the metal bands, it clenches the tack underneath like a hook. And then when it's popped off the form, all of the tacks have to be retacked because they don't hold firm. And it's a primitive method of building, but it's been used since medieval times.
So thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video. Next time you're in the market for a net, make sure to check out Ken. There's nothing like coming in the shop, picking out a net, or even asking him to make you something, you know, specific to you, and actually walking in here and seeing how he made it. And all the nets themselves are replaceable too. And just getting to meet the person that made your net is always something kind of special. I'm gonna leave a little video or picture of his business card and how you can contact him and a couple of the fly shops that actually are carrying his stuff now. You guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time on another episode of The Everyday Angler.